Tomorrow is Father's Day, so I thought I should speak a sermon about fathers. And looking through the Bible, I'm like, which father should I talk about? Seems like none of the fathers in the Bible are good. Lots of them actually are really terrible fathers. I thought about maybe I should speak about King David, but King David didn't even take care of his daughter when she was raped, and he just dismissed everything. And then thought about speaking about all these other fathers, and it seems like they were bad too. Moses, and I don't know what even happened to Moses and his kids. It seemed like a lot of the families in the Bible were just in disarray. So I thought, why not just go to the father of Israel? Even though I don't think that he was the best father either, according to worldly standards, but yet we still call him Father Abraham, don't we? So let's read Genesis chapter 22, verse 1. After these things, God tested Abraham. He said to him, "Abraham." And he said, "Here I am." He said, "Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains that I shall show you." So Abraham rose early in the morning, saddled his donkey, and took 2 of his young men with him and his son Isaac. He cut the wood for the burnt offering and set out and went to the place in the distance that God had shown him. On the 3rd day, Abraham looked up and saw the place far away. Then Abraham said to his young men, "Stay here with the donkey. The boy and I will go over there. We will worship, and then we will come back to you." Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it on his son Isaac, and he himself carried the fire and the knife. So the 2 of them walked on together. Isaac said to his father Abraham, "Father!" And he said, "Here I am, my son." He said, "The fire and the wood are here, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering?" Abraham said, "God himself will provide the lamb for a burnt offering, my son." So the 2 of them walked on together. Let's stop there. Now, I want you to go into your Bibles and read it yourself. The other day, I attended a workshop where the speaker said, use your whole imagination, use your 5 senses when you read the text, okay? So smell the scene, feel the scene, hear the scene, use all of your 5 senses when you read this. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to read it again and really feel like you're there in that story. Genesis chapter 22. Maybe we can just put it up again. So Genesis chapter 22, verse 1 through 8. God tested Abraham. He said to him, "Abraham." Abraham said, "Here I am." He said, "Take your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah. Offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains that I shall show you." So Abraham rose early in the morning, saddled his donkey, and took 2 of his young men with him and his son Isaac, cut the wood for the burnt offering, and set out and went to the place in the distance that God had shown him. On the 3rd day, Abraham looked up and saw the place far away. Then Abraham said to his young men, "Stay here with the donkey. The boy and I will go over there. We will worship, and then we will come back to you." Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it on his son Isaac, and he himself carried the fire and the knife. So the 2 of them walked on together. Isaac said to his father Abraham, "Father." He said, "Here I am, my son." He said, "The fire and the wood are here, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering?" Abraham said, "God himself will provide the lamb for a burnt offering, my son." So the 2 of them walked on together. So when you read this, what was the weather like? What do you think the weather was like? It wasn't raining? Okay, it wasn't raining. Was it sunny? Maybe. When did God speak to Abraham? During the day, at night? When did God speak? Just in your imagination, it doesn't have to be right. The night before? Yeah, I think that it was at nighttime. I imagined him being outside in the stars all by himself. Was it hot or cold when Abraham went to journey to Moriah? Maybe warm? You say cold? So was it summertime, springtime? In spring? Because there's no winter except for Christmas, right? What was the emotion on Abraham's face whenever he heard God? Yeah, when he heard God the first time. What was that? He had wrinkles. What about Sarah? Where was she when God was speaking to Abraham? She was in bed already because it happened at night, right? So she was in bed. Did she hear God at all? No. Okay. What about Isaac? How old was Isaac? What do you imagine him to be? 12, 13, youth? Okay. When they were getting closer to the mountain, how do you imagine Abraham being? Did he show it on his face, do you think? Was he stressed? He was sweating? Uh-huh. Do you think that he was joyful going towards the mountain? Hopeful at all? No? He wasn't joyful. What about hopeful? Was he hopeful at all? He was hopeful? Maybe? Okay. Or did he become more somber looking whenever he got closer to the mountain? Do you think he became more sad and more anxious, maybe? What about when Isaac was asking his father? Was he just curious? Or did he know something was going to happen? What do you think? He was just curious when he asked that question, where's the offering? Where's the lamb? He was curious. And then when Abraham said, God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, how do you think he said that? He believed God? You think he believed God? You think he had faith? You don't think that he was just saying it to comfort his son? Being pastoral, you know? No? I don't know. This story has never sat well with me, you know? It irks me and it bothers me, it disgusts me. Like, how could a father listen to a God who would command him to sacrifice his only son? How could he obey a God that would command a child sacrifice? If that was me, I'd be like, sorry, God, I pass. You know, next test, or you must not be God. If you're telling me to do this, I think I'm worshiping the devil. I've been worshiping the devil for too long. You know? Yeah, we're going to get to that. So, I mean, how can a God like that be trusted? A God that would command you to sacrifice your only son, and not only your only son, but the promise. Isaac is the promise that God had promised Abraham. He is the sign of the covenants that God made, the fulfillment of that covenant. And yet, God wanted him to be put on the chopping block. God wanted him to be like an incense stick. And so, not only that, but Abraham listened and he heard the voice of God, and it said early the next day that Abraham got up and went. And